Here are some basic-ass cloak and dagger tips and strategies to help you climb out of your hard-stuck rank. These are my personal tips and strategies, and they are meant for the average player who just wants a better understanding on how to use cloak and dagger. These aren't tips for you try-hard sweats that like to hop in my comments section and tell me that these are low-skill tips, so just keep scrolling, because these tips aren't fucking for you. Get lost. Before we get started, make sure you follow for more Marvel Rivals content. When I play cloak and dagger, I always drop a bubble on the payload because the payload already gives you heals if you're standing next to it, so my bubble just boosts the healing. I also try to always stay right behind my tanks so that I can constantly focus on healing them, but also it makes it harder for anyone to try and dive me because my tank is always by my side. If someone does try to dive me, I will immediately throw a bubble on myself if it's available, and then I'll swap to cloak and handle them. Unless it's a tank, then I'll drop a bubble, use my cloak shield to fly out, and let my team handle him while I reposition. Your cloak shield is also super important, and if you learn how to time it correctly, you can block a significant amount of ultimate abilities. As far as I know, you can block Jeff, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and most other players, to be honest. But you have to time your cloak shield perfectly, because it isn't active for very long. I also use my cloak shield to levitate into the air right before I use my ultimate ability because it makes me a harder target to hit, which means I can't be hit out of my ultimate. I see a lot of cloak and dagger players using their ultimate to cancel out another cloak and dagger player's ultimate. I am a victim of this too, because I used to do the same thing, but what I learned is that it's better to wait until the enemy cloak ultimate finishes, and then use yours because you will win more team fights with patience. I also always make sure that I have an ultimate ability to use during overtime, because all it takes is one cloak and dagger ultimate during overtime to keep the enemies off the payload to win the match. My final tip of the day is to not be afraid to use dagger to take out flyers like Iron Man and Storm because you have auto-aim. You're probably the best option to focus those types of enemies because clearly the fucking DPS can't. Hopefully these tips and strategies can help you be a better cloak and dagger player so you can get out of your hard-stuck rank. If you learned anything from this video, or if you just enjoyed the content, please make sure to like, share, and follow.